Another jute mill was located in Greenpoint, 13 blocks south of the Chelsea Jute Mills. The American Manufacturing Company had a large jute burlap factory at the foot of Noble Street, 11 blocks south of Pink Street, where two bodies had been found floating in the creek wrapped in burlap. A full-page advertisement in the Brooklyn Daily Eagle from the American Manufacturing Company tries to paint the place as a wonderful employer keeping workers alive. The American Manufacturing Company, foot of Noble Street, Greenpoint, Brooklyn's largest industry, occupies 4 blocks in Greenpoint, employing over 2,500 people. South Brooklyn plant at 2nd Avenue and 8th Street employs 300 people. Makers of jute bagging for cotton and all kinds of rope and twine. Just how important the jute and cotton bagging industry is to Brooklyn has been shown in printed interviews with officers of the American Manufacturing Company printed in the Times and other newspapers. It is fair for the public to know that nearly 3,000 people are directly employed in the company's mills in Brooklyn. In the whole country, there are something like 10,000 people employed, involving perhaps 50,000 persons, with an expenditure for wages and supplies running into many millions each year. This industry is threatened by a demand in the South for free bagging material to cover cotton bales. It will be easy to contrast the conditions of the workmen employed in America and in India, but this is not the purpose of the present argument. We wish merely to call attention to the fact that through a very small amount of protection in this country, the manufacture of jute bagging, rope, and twine is made possible. The employees, as shown in the illustrations, work under sanitary conditions and some care is taken to provide for their comfort and recreation. The payroll of the American Manufacturing Company in Greenpoint alone is more than $1 million a year. The wages now paid are for individuals twice what they were when the Wilson Bill went into effect, or 6 times as much per yard as are current in India or similar mills, and are 12 times as much per individual as in that country. The officials of the American Manufacturing Company are asking a hearing before the Ways and Means Committee of the House of Representatives before final action is taken. They urge that 1/3 of all the bagging for cotton bales is manufactured and has been made in Brooklyn for the past 30 years. Competition comes from 2 sources: India, where the raw material is raised and where the labor cost is less than 1/6 as much as in this country, and Great Britain, where the raw material used consists of fibers of mill wastes, partly manufactured, that we cannot import into this country without paying from 10 to 40% duty. These wastes are gathered up from all over Europe, partly prepared before going to the manufacturers and worked by them into bagging that has for years been coming into this country as jute bagging. Quite recently, the United States Board of General Appraisers has held that this bagging is not jute bagging and must pay an extra duty. The bagging paragraph in the Farmers' Free List Bill also puts bagging made from these dutiable fibers and wastes on the free list, cutting off any possibility of the manufacturers in this country living in competition even with those of Great Britain. The manufacturers of bags from jute burlap, which is a totally different business from ours, are also to be cut off by the same paragraph Farmers' Free List Bill, but their raw material is to be put on the free list. As their competition comes pretty much from India, this will not do them any good. Already, some 40 million or 50 million bags are imported into this country, paying about 1/4 cent each more duty than the cloth from which those same bags are made, showing that the bagman can barely live on this duty as it stands. The importance of our business to the Port of New York may be partly estimated by the fact that the largest shipments of coastwise steamers out of New York, apart from sugar and coffee, are those which are furnished by bagging for cotton, and that of the total jute fiber received in this country, more than 1/2 is made into this bagging.